guys, it's John Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL. It is, yes, another great day, actually evening. It is Monday, January 29th, just 2 more days left in January. Then we'll be into the big month of February where it gets really cold, supposedly. All right, let's get into the show. But before I do want to say thank you to you guys, whether you're here at 10:20 at night, 10:20 in the morning, 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 12 noon, 12 a.m., makes no difference. I'm just so grateful that you're here. Do scan that QR code for me or go to believemeachieve.com so you can get more of my amazing, inspiring creations 24 hours a day. And I do want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you guys because you've helped us reach one of our milestones here. And I am very grateful to you guys because, just making the choice to watch the programs or to listen to the programs that I put together really does make my day. And I always love to hear stories when I hear that you're doing well or that something I shared with you helped you to get an insight in life. I love that. And so, first of all, I want to thank you. And I do want to let you know who I am. So I'm John C. Morley. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a podcast host. I'm a podcast coach. And I am a specialist in helping businesses tell a story that leads to them growing and, of course, being more scalable and, of course, more profitable. Now, I typically do work with companies that bring in 10 million or more. They either know their story or they want me to find out what their story really is. And then you know what they want me to do? Well, they want me to find it out, but they want to know it from the truth. And see, that means a lot to me when it's from the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, we are over 149,000 downloads. That is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, absolutely, absolutely incredible. So thank you very, very much for that. I do appreciate that. And the podcast does launch within 24 hours after this, the video cast goes out. So again, there's the QR code. Definitely check that out. Let me give you the master topic, shall we? All right. Our master topic, ladies and gentlemen, is this: how to build trust, series 3. And we start on Saturday, we roll through the week, and we finish up on a Friday. So that's what the master topic is. But what is let's call it the day topic, right? The topic of the day that is actually a more granular topic that comes from the broader topic, which is how to build trust. So our more specific topic is trust building strategies in business and entrepreneurship. We're in series 3, which means we're in the 3rd year. We're on show number 5. Wow, guys. Episode number 4. So let's just get right into it, shall we? So when we think about trust, I don't know about you, but one of the big things that comes to my mind is to be honest. Yeah. So what does honesty mean? So if we look up honesty, in terms of, Merriam-Webster. The thing about honesty is that honesty is a word that oftentimes gets misused. So honesty itself is a noun, adherence to the facts, being fair, straightforward. That's what honesty is about. Let's say I'm working with you, and let's say I know that next month there is going to be a huge decline in one of the services you're using. Now, I could tell you that, and that would be being honest. Or what some people do is they're dishonest. They either don't share the information, so they either A, don't share it, or B, like, oh, no, it's definitely going to be busy. They lie. So they lie by omission, or they lie by telling a fib, right? I'm sure you've been in school before, and maybe one of your friends said, do you have any snacks? And you say yes. But sometimes you say no. And the reason you say no is because every time you say you have a snack, you always get guilted into giving it over to them. I'm sure that never happened to anybody. So what you've got in your lunch pail is your business. And if you want to share it, it's fine. But, when they come out and say to you, hey, do you have any snacks? I don't know. What do you have in your lunchbox? About lying, right? Diverting off to that person. They're like, oh, I don't know. I have some kind of candies. Well, cool. I'll give you whatever I have if you give me one of what you have. And so it sets the stage, right? It sets the tone. When we are in business, I like to say specifically as entrepreneurs or serial entrepreneurs, you know why we're in business? We're in business. People say it's because of a profit. Well, yeah, I get that. But the real main reason that you're in business is because you want to what? Help others. Yes, you want to help others. So we know that when we're, just to go back here a second, we know that when we're honest, it's very transformative. People can kind of see into us. And the importance of being authentic and transparent just allows us to set the stage and create long-term relationships that'll keep building and getting even stronger as they are part of our life. So when we think about helping others, you know, there's magic in altruism. Okay, extending a helping hand can be a cornerstone in building a trustful relationship. Maybe you have a business, and maybe, everybody says, well, I'm not going to help that person because they haven't hired me yet. Well, maybe I'm going to look at your information. You came to me and say, well, I see where you want to go with this. I think that's great. If it was me, I probably wouldn't print the whole book in color, or I would condense it down to less pages. Now, that's going to save them money. It's also going to take money out of my profit, but I'd rather do something honest to help someone. I don't know why people want to be dishonest. You've heard of these salespeople where, they tell you need everything. Like you need the kitchen sink, you need every screw and every bolt and every peg. But the truth of the matter is, you really don't need that stuff. And so maybe they do very well in sales for a little while. First month, second month, third month, maybe even 4 months. Then maybe after 6 months, people are like, oh, I know, I got his number. I know what he does. I know what she does. They rope me into getting this large system when I only have 10 employees and I could have bought the one that was half price. And then they disappear. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So let me just give you a couple examples of, how do we help others? One of the things I want to share with you is that a lot of people tell me, hey, John, I don't want to help that person. Well, can I ask why? Yeah, because they can't help me. And I look at them and I'm like, well, that's a horrible way to treat someone. Well, no, they can't help me, so I don't want to waste my time helping them. Yeah, but that's rude. That makes people feel bad. Yeah, it's life, John. It's business. I said, but don't you know karma pays back? Oh, I don't believe in karma. Karma's nonsense. Karma is real. Karma is real. And we're going to talk about karma on another show. So I'm not going to get too into karma. But what I want to share with you is that when we can actually help someone and we don't know if they can help us back, that's really being altruistic. And I think when we do that, not only are we being unselfish and we're leaving the ego out of there, but we care. And even though that person might not be able to help us, maybe someday they're going to mention our name to someone. You know what John did for me? I was starting to write my book and he was proofreading it for me. I couldn't afford a formal proofreader, but he went through and he proofread, a couple of the chapters to give me some ideas of what I should be looking for. Didn't charge me anything. And then later on, when I was ready to go publish the book, I actually hired him because he gave me such great advice for free. I knew that when I paid him, I'd be getting amazing advice too. You should really talk to him. He's a great guy. So when people say that somebody's good, that has a very strong connotation to it. When you say you're good, it doesn't matter. Because people always want to toot their own horn. So I always tell people, look, not to toot my own horn, You can check with this client. You can check with that client, or you can see my results online, or you can just try these things yourself, or you can try these coaching tips yourself. I had a lady whose show I was on the other night. It was actually, I believe it was in China. So my time to be on it was like 11 something, and it was like 1 o'clock her time in China. And she said to me, John, she says, I have a question for you. She says, the information you shared is really amazing. And I know my listeners and viewers will definitely benefit from it. I said, well, thank you. That's my goal. She says, I have to ask you, what is it like to work with you? I said, well, when somebody hires me as a coach, they get a friend. They get somebody that cares about them and somebody that's going to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do. That's what you get when you hire me as a coach. You get somebody that's not going to throw something in your face. You get someone that's actually going to help you. Now, if you don't do the things, of course, I'm going to say, hey, you got to do the stuff. You got to put the time in, or you're not going to get the outcome. So it said to me, John, why do people want to work with you? I think it's because I have this passion and a desire to see other people succeed in life. There have been a lot of people around me. And some people, they're very selfish. Some people in the very beginning, when I was getting started, had lots of more money than I did. And they were rude. And I guess some people, I should say, believe that if they're better than you, because that's what they believe, they have more than you, whether that's financial, whether that's intelligence, they believe they're better than you. But just by making that statement already makes me know that they're not better than you. Because anybody that is going to classify themselves as better, I'm not better than you. I strive to become better than I was the day before. And I love to help people. I love to hear their stories. I become genuinely interested in what you're about. What I say is boring. And so that's why people want to work with me from all around the world, because they get John. I always say you're going to like me, love me, or hate me in next. Now, is that an attitude? No, it's not an attitude. It's just that I don't have time to put up with people that are going to judge me. And if they're going to judge me, then we shouldn't even work together, right? I understand you might judge my skills. Okay, that's fine. So you want to judge my ability to help you. I get that. But you don't judge a person, right? Maybe like, hey, John, I love that we do the meditation. Could we do the meditation with our eyes open next time? Or could we do the meditation first instead of last? Because I feel like it helps me get in tune with the session. Sure. Many people will do what it is they want to do, which is going to be easy for them. But it may not be what's right for you. There's so many coaches that I've had the chance to connect with, some that are alive and some that have passed away. And every single one of them, I've learned that it's not about the content. It's about the relationship. Now, I'm not going to name names for some people, but there was one coaching program I was in, probably when I was in, I think it was in just graduating or just getting out of college. And the guy chose a lot of programs, and he charged a lot of money. And I remember wanting to talk to him, and he's like, well, you'll get to talk to him once in a while, but you talk with his, let's say his team. And I said, well, I'm paying you every week, but I'm not getting to talk to the kingpin. Well, he's busy. So when people can't come to you, I always give people a chance to come and talk to me. It's one thing if somebody is running my door off, or if somebody is trying to get something out of me. There was a guy today that sent me an email, okay, to one of the charity organizations that I'm president of. And he immediately started to let me know how he's right there in town. And so the question I asked was, if you're in town, we should, have lunch and we should talk. I said, because I get so many people that email me. They say they're from town or they pick a local town that they have a phone number in that's close to ours, but they're not even in our state. And then they do things like yours, like they're fundraising companies. And there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. Understand that. It's the way you are going about trying to build a relationship with me. You're not. It's false. And so everything about you is false. So why would I ever want to do business with you, let alone get to know you, if everything you're about is just about money? It's just about how can I help Don? How can I help Mark? How can I help Joe? Why would I want to help you? Why? I wouldn't. So I said to him, look, I said, I'd be happy to have lunch with you. And, maybe you can join the organization that I'm part of and we can talk about this and see if it's a good fit. But I get so many people that are trying to get me to book golf outings or do all these crazy things. But at the end of the day, you know what happens? They really don't care about my organization. They care about, guess who? Them. There are 2 radio stations I'm going to tell you about. One is what's W, it's called WIIFM, what's in it for me, and WIIFY. What's WIIFY? Well, it's been around for a while, but WIIFY is the unselfish station. That's what's in it for you. So when I meet you, regardless of whether I'm in a consulting business, technology consulting, whether I'm in marketing consulting or press releasing, I want to get to know you. That's what I want to get to know. Regardless of whether we do business or not is immaterial. I want to know about you. I want to know about your challenges. And I want to hear what makes you passionate every day. When this guy said, oh, we work with lots of companies in your area. We work with lots of charities. I said, really? I said, what other organizations do you work with in my town? Oh, we work with so many, not so much in your town, but, like close. Well, which ones? Oh, we have a list, like hundreds of them. And then he fell off the map. And I said, sir, with all due respect, I said, you might be a great person and you might truly have an interest in helping me, which I doubt. I'm going to ask you, for lack of my better judgment, to take me off your email blast because it's obvious that you haven't even done the homework. You send me an email telling me that you want to help me work on my next fundraising event. You don't even know when the event is, where it is. You're just shooting up the dark. And so he said, well, I heard about your event. Well, who did you hear about it from? I said, you really didn't hear about it from anybody because I only told a few people and I didn't even give a date. So it sounds like you're just fishing. And you know what I think about fish? They smell. And I don't want to be associated with someone that has that slimy mentality. So again, please do take me off your email list. And I hope that you're able to spam some other people and maybe connive some others to do business with you. But see, that's not how I work. If we were going to work together, we would have lunch. I'd come out to your facility. I'd see what you do. You're not going to try to sell me over a phone call. He goes, well, that's how we do it. That's how I work. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know your team. And I might just show up at your building just to see what you guys are about when you're not expecting me. And I knew at that moment that he really was not about integrity. Well, we got this. We got Michael Jackson. We got that. We got this. There's a guy in a building, actually, where I am. One of my businesses is in. And I tried to have a conversation with him. And right away, he goes off about how he's this, how he's that, how he's making so many figures and digits. And all I wanted to do was sit down and have lunch with him. And he couldn't even get himself to do that. I said, I think we'd like to hire you, but I want to sit down and have lunch with you and learn a little more about you. You know why he didn't want to do that? He didn't want to do that because he operates his business probably like a snake. And when you sit down and have lunch or you have dinner with me or breakfast or a coffee or something, I get to know the truth about you. So if you're trying to hide something from me, don't meet me. And if you don't meet me, guess what? We're never doing business. Now, that's not to be selfish. That's because I love myself. And I only want to bring people in my energy that actually have that same level of respect and integrity. The last point I want to bring up to you is show your feelings. So there's emotional expression every day that's happening. People a lot of times don't want to be vulnerable. I'm going to share a story that I had from a previous neighbor. The neighbor actually turned out to not be a great person, but I didn't hold any judgment against the person. The person was a neighbor of mine, and every time that I would leave in the morning, he'd be coming down the stairs, and he would literally almost like run me off the road or off the staircase. And I never said anything about it because I'm like, he's busy, no big deal. So we had let's call it a homeowners association meeting. And I went there and I met him. He was at the table. And I'll call him Chris for right now. I'm not going to give you his real name because that's not really right. And so I said, "Hey, Chris," I said, "Listen, I'm looking for people to play pool with. I want to improve my game. I was just wondering if maybe we could hook up to play pool sometime." And he came back to me, and he had this chip on his shoulder. He's like, John, you're really an idiot. I said, "Because I asked you to play pool with me?" "No, I parked right next to you." So now I'm like, not really sure what's going on. He's like, "I parked right next to you." Like, duh. I was like, all right. So I offered him to play. So he's like, "Look, I'll give you my cell phone number. You can text me. Don't call me." I'm like, okay. So we were on our way out of the meeting. And we were both agreeing that we weren't going to do anything because the organization wants everybody to do stuff and they don't want to pay people to do it. And they're very ungrateful. And so we were walking outside and he says to me, he goes, "What building do you live in?" And I said, "I know you." I said, "You're the guy that comes down the stairs every single morning and runs me over at least 2 or 3 times a week because you can't get up early enough. And you think it's okay to just like plow me down so you can get to your car and get to your appointment." And he didn't know what to say. He was like, yeah, sometimes in the morning I'm in a rush." I was like, "Well, could you do me a favor? Like, if you're in a rush, could you, either like go to the side of me, like not like literally knock me down, like, it's going to be like the first down at football. Like, you could easily move to the right. Like, I'm not trying to block you. I'm walking down the steps and you literally try to push me down. Just move over to the right or move to the left. That's all." He knew what to say. And he said to me, "John," I'll never forget what he told me. He said, "John," he says, "people are a waste of time." And I said, "Chris, what do you mean people are a waste of time?" So we set a date to play pool one time. We texted and we were playing pool. And I said, "Chris, what do you mean people are a waste of time?" "Well, John, people are a waste of time unless they are either my clients or I'm making money off of them." And so I said to him, I said, I'm an engineer. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I do many things. I said, just curious, what do you do? And he told me about how he, went to Fordham, how he's a person studying in finances, and how he's moving up the ranks. And we played pool. And I remember the very first time we played pool, I was trying to hit the ball, and he's standing in my line, which is very rude in pool. I didn't discover this till weeks or even months later. I'm like, is that all right? It's like, John, you don't stand in somebody's line. I'm like, oh, my friend does it all the time. Well, your friend's an idiot because you don't stand in somebody's line. I said, I apologize. I didn't know I was doing. No, I understand. I get it. I know you didn't mean it, but that's not okay. So he was standing in my line to try to manipulate me, to try to overpower me. So he really wasn't building trust, was he? He was trying to figure out how to beat me. So you might be saying, hey, John, was there a trust building? Were we building a friendship? Well, I believe we were starting to build a friendship because we went to pool, we went to bowling, and we did different things, and we talked about stuff, and whatever we talked about never left that area between us. And it was just interesting because he would get all upset about something, not at me, but at the situation. And I'm like, Chris, chill. We were going for pizza one night. I think it was after we went bowling. And they usually close, I don't know, it was 10 or 11 o'clock at night, whatever it was. So we went there. There was either, I think it's 10:30 or 10:45. And so we went there, and Chris is beside me. I said, we want to get some pieces? Yeah. He said, I want the specials. I said, well, Chris, the specials are right up there on the board. I don't want those specials. So he says, he goes, amigo. He says, I want your specials. He goes, seriously, the specials are right on the board there. He goes, I don't want those specials. You know the specials I want. It's 10:30 right now. We all know that you close the restaurant at 11. And we also know that you're going to throw half this food, if not all of it, out. So I'm not paying $6 or $7 for a specialty slice of pizza. I'll give you $1.50 for it. For 2 slices, I'll give you $3 for specialty pizza. And the other pizza, if I wanted that, which I don't, usually it's $1 something. He says, I'll give you 50 cents because you and I both know you're going to throw it out. I'm standing behind him or next to him, and I'm like beside myself, like, this is my friend. And I was like, and I go to this place all the time. And I said to the guy, I said, look, sir, I am so sorry, amigo. I don't know what got into my friend. He likes to work deals and get the best value. He says, it's okay. No problem. No problem. He walks away all pissed off. And I said, Chris, what do you want? He says, I'll take I'll just give me a buffalo and I think he had a eggplant. So basically he had that and I had 2 specialties. So I think I had a buffalo and a barbecue. So each one of those slices would have normally been $6. So $24. And then sodas or drinks, whatever it was. I think I just had, at the time, I think I might have had just a water or something, a bottle of water. So it was like $1 or $2. And he had something else. So maybe 24, 5, 6, 7, $28. So I said to the gentleman, I said, okay. I said, and this, the drinks. I said, what do I owe you, senor, sir? He goes, for you? I said, yes. So my friend's all pissed off. He's sitting down at the table like, this is a lost cause. And I told you what it should have been, right? He goes, the waters, the drinks, that was like, so let's say the drinks were going to come out to be, I don't know, $2 or $3. So nobody got to give it. I said, what do I owe you though for the pizza? He says, oh yeah, for the pizza. He says, he goes, just give me $8. I said, $8. I said, for 6 to the 24, yeah, just give me $8. So I go over to see Chris, and he goes, how much did the jerk rip you off for? I said, well, It should have been $24 plus $3 for the drinks, the two waters, right? So it was still, we still had the $3 for the waters, but he told me to give him for everything. You ready? $11. He goes, "No blanking way." I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I come here all the time." And he was really pissed off. So the next day I had come back, or later in the week I went there and the same guy was there, and I went and got pizza, whatever it was, and he still gave me a discount. And I said to him, I said, "That was really nice." He says, "I hate people like your friend that came in." He says, "I know that was not your fault. And I wanted to do better than your friend wanted. And I wanted him to see that he couldn't get that deal and that you could. And I did that for you because you, sir, are a friend of mine. You come here, you patronize my business, and I wanted to help you. And you come here when my restaurant's closing at night, I'm going to give you a good deal because I know I'm throwing it out and I know you come to me. You don't just come because it's being thrown out." And I think it was Angelo. I said, "Angelo," I said, No one's ever done that for me." So I had another situation happen just to show you. I was at a store. I'm not going to give you the store. And one of our businesses is in the process of moving. I think I had told you guys this because our landlord decided he wanted to triple the rent, which was ridiculous. Anyway, I had bought some boxes in the morning. I went back to buy some more boxes, and I just took a long shot. And I said, "Can you give me a discount? I've been buying all these boxes for our move." And he's like, "I don't think so." He said, "Well, you can go to customer service." I said, "Well, customer service really can't help me. Can you get me a manager?" He says, "Do you want a manager?" I said, "Yes, I would like a manager. Could you call one?" He says, "Oh, I could call a manager." Okay, fine. Manager comes over, and I said, "Could you help me out? I mean, I bought boxes this morning. I'm buying boxes now. Anything you could do for me?" And she says, "Well, how much is your order coming to?" So we got the order, and she took a nice percentage of it off. And she didn't even do a percentage. She literally just did a flat dollar amount. When she saw I was spending a certain amount, she took a flat dollar amount, which I think was pretty cool. So showing your feelings is a good way to build trust. What happened in that restaurant will get me coming back to that restaurant. Now, my friend Chris comes from this mentality that he's better than everybody. And if he can't be better than you, then he doesn't even want to be around you, which is a bad thing. He's a kind of person, we're not friends anymore, unfortunately, that would stir up trouble with the law, the police, just because he can. He's a kind of guy that would fabricate an $8 or $10,000 lawsuit to make you be guilty when you're not. I have very low respect for people like this. And I want to share with you the fact about showing your feelings. We have to realize that we've got to be vulnerable sometimes. We have to do that. And when we're vulnerable, it allows us to gain an emotional connection and build stronger trust. I go back to that store again. "Hey, thank you so much for helping me last time. I'm buying another 50 boxes. Can you help me out?" "Sure, John." Or, "Look, I really need this to be done by tomorrow. Normally, I don't care when it's done. Is there any possible way that I could pick it up tomorrow morning before noon?" "Yeah, John, I think we could do that for you. No problem." "You think?" "No, no, we'll definitely do it for you." "Okay, great." So, respect. It's not just in business. I remember another time this guy, Chris, again, we were friends for a few years. And I remember I was going to get skis, and he loved to ski. I'm an intermediate skier, and I think he was either advanced or a black diamond. He was a lot more advanced than I was. At least that's what he said he was. But anyway, I was a true intermediate skier. And I remember him saying to me that, you need to get better skis. I said, yeah. I said, I know. I always rent them, this and that. And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. He said, so we went online when I was over his place. And I said, Chris, I really could use you if you could help me out to negotiate the deal because I don't know skis. He's like, no sweat. So I'll tell you what. He's like, these are the ones you should be looking at. Go down to, I think it was, trying to remember the name of the store now, Ski Barn. And so, bring your phone. Obviously, you have your phone, and just you have these pages, the ones I'm talking about, where you can print them out. And this is the price. This is the list price. This is what you should get, and then you probably should get something else plus free binding tune-ups and all that. So I went there, and I think I said to him, Chris, can I call you? He's like, yeah, just call me. He's like, it'll probably take us 10 or 15 minutes, and I'll make sure you get a good deal. I go over to the gentleman who has the skis, and we're looking at the different ones, and I know which one I want. And he tells me, well, sir, this is the best deal we can give you. I call Chris on the phone and say, hey, Chris, they got these skis. I'm just going to make up the price. The skis were normally $8.99. And he said to me, we can do better. He says, the skis are on sale right now for $6.99. I said, I know. He says that's the best that he can do for me. Plus the $69.99 for setting the bindings and getting them all ready to go. He goes, no good. I said, what do you want me to do? He says, ask him if that's the best deal. That your best deal? He says, yes, sir, it's the best I could do. He says, just tell him thank you and start walking toward the door. I said, excuse me, you heard me. Just stay on the phone with me. Thanks so much for your time. I gotta go. And I'm walking to the door. I'm talking to my friend Chris. Chris said, what are we doing? He's just keep walking to the door. Keep walking to the door. Don't look back. Don't pause. Don't stop. Just keep walking. Are you worried? I said, I'm in the center of the store. Now just keep walking. Are you almost at the door? I'm about 50 feet from the door. Okay, give it I'm about to step out the door. Excuse me, sir. I said, yes. He said, yeah, what did I tell you? I said, maybe we can do a little better for you. My friend Chris like, see, he goes, how much better? Well, I can throw in, the binding tunings for you, the $6.99 and do the free tuning. And my friend Chris is like, he's like, no. He's like, I'll tell you what. He says, these skis are going to be discontinued in 3 months. And he says, I'll tell you what. He says, you tell him this. If it doesn't work, you walk. So we're getting close to the skis again. And $6.99 was a good deal from the $8.99, right? And he was going to give me the $6.99, which is the sale price, which is like $200 off from the $8.99, plus the free binding, calibration and tune-up. So my friend Chris says, John, he says, here's what you do. It's $6.99. I think we can get them down to $4.99. How do you know that? I just know because last year when the other skis were down, I bought them for right around $3.89, $3.99. So I think we could get them down to $4.99 pretty easily. He said, I think we might even get them lower, but let's see if we can get them there. So we got to $4.99. $4.99 with the tune-up included. He's like, oh, I can't do that. I said, okay. I said, no, but I said, I don't need to get skis. I said, I'm going to run anyway. So I start running. I start walking to the door. He goes, oh, sir. He says, you drive a hard bargain. He says, all right, I'll tell you what. He says, $4.99, but we got to pay the $6.99. So I told my friend, he says, I got to try. He says, no. He says, no. My buddy's like, I don't ever pay for buying trays. So if we can't do the $69.99 with the $4.99 plus tax, then, deal's not happening. All right. I don't really need new skis. So I'm just about to walk away from him. He goes, all right, sir. He says, I got to make this sale today. He says, $4.99 plus tax. And you've got them. When are you going skiing? I'm going skiing this weekend. Today's Wednesday. So, that's going to be tough. I said, all right. So, you know what? Maybe we'll just get them another time. He said, no. Let me check on my manager. Magically, they had the skis ready for me 4:00 that day. So my buddy's on the phone, and And I told him what was going on. And he's like, John, I got to go. He's like, okay, that's great. I'm glad you got a good deal. So my friend was very good at crafting deals. Unfortunately, when he crafted deals, he didn't really care about you or your integrity. I don't mean me as being a friend of his. I meant the person in the store. So if he was buying a car from you, he wouldn't care what happened to you as long as he got his best deal. And I think if we don't show our feelings and we don't have some empathy, okay, compassion is when you understand. Empathy is when you put yourself in that person's shoes. Like, hey, I never sold cars, but when I was in college, I waited tables, and I was also a black tie. So I know what it's like when you got to make your rent payment or you got to make your car payment. I get it, but I also have a budget. So I don't want to hurt you. Okay, I want you to make the money you're supposed to make on the car, but I need to get a better number for me to be locked in. And I hope you could appreciate that. Because even if I get locked in at a lower number, it's not going to hurt your total commission because you and I both know that you get a flat fee based on the car sale. And he was kind of amazed that I knew this kid. So the reason this friend of mine, I'll call him Chris, and we broke off was because he was being rude to people. And I remember one time we were supposed to go somewhere, and he canceled out of the blue. And I said, Chris, look, I understand you've got things that are more important than your girlfriend. I get it. I understand that. But, canceling like this is rude. I said, so I understand it's happening today. It's an emergency. I get it. But I just want to let you know that I'm not going to tolerate this in the future because, girlfriend, no girlfriend, you made a commitment with me to go skiing that doesn't show much integrity on your part. He goes, no, John, I understand. I perfectly understand. So he did it again 2 weeks later. And I said, I've invited you to go skiing with me on my dime, and you blew me off twice. The third time we were going to go skiing, he was supposed to go skiing. And out of the blue, his girlfriend decided to show up that night. I think it was like, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock at night she showed up. And we were leaving to go skiing at 6 o'clock in the morning. So she shows up, and he doesn't tell me that he's not going. But in the morning, he just kind of looks at me, and as I'm packing everything up, and I say, hey, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I got to get to the slopes. And he just looked at me, and he just gave me like a... And then when she went back inside, he's like, I can't. And so when I got back from skiing, I had to talk with him, and I said, hey, Chris, I said, look, I get that you have situations, things come up. I get it, okay? But if you can't put a date on the calendar, like within a month or so, and you've blown me off 3 times, and we all know they've been girlfriend things. They have not been emergencies in your family. You've told me yourself. She came over because she felt underappreciated. Then she came over a second time. Then she shows up the night before we're going skiing. And she never comes on a weeknight. You've told me that. He goes, yeah, I know. He's like, it's complicated. I said, I get it. And I said, Chris, I said, I want to be your friend. I can't be your friend with this kind of treatment. So as much as I like you, you're a great person, I'm out. He got a little nasty. Well, you have no right. I have no right. No one has the right to make me feel inferior about myself. And you're not going to put me down. You're not going to tell me that I have to get you at a last moment, that we can't book things a few days in advance. You can't do that to me. That's disrespectful. So maybe I'm just not someone that fits in your plan to be friends with, which is okay. It's fine with me. And I wouldn't mind if you weren't able to come, if you said to me up front, John, I can't do it, but you committed 3 times. If I asked you and you said no, I wouldn't care. But you committed each time. When I called you back, if I said, hey, Chris, you go to say, yeah, John, I'm all set. Everything's all ready. I'm ready to go. You did it to me 3 times. You canceled. That tells me you're not a stand-up person. You let people walk over you, including your girlfriend, with all due respect. And we had a little bit of an argument about that. And I said, I think our friendship's over. And it was a sad day. But on the same token, he learned something, that the trust that I wanted him to build with me was never happening. And as I was ending that relationship, and I said to him, I said, Chris, I said, look, I said, doesn't matter what's happened here. That's, water under the bridge. But what you've done to me, if you do to someone else, don't be surprised that they treat you the exact same way. Other people deserve respect too, not just me. Just like you deserve respect, I deserve respect, and other people you're going to encounter deserve respect. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and you guys know who I am by now. Sure you do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know who I am, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and I am a podcast host and a podcast coach, and a specialist in helping businesses tell a story that leads to them growing and being more scalable and profitable. I typically do work with companies that bring in 10 million or more, and I'm passionate about working with companies that want to find out the truth. If that's you, I'd love to work with you. Have yourself a great rest of your night, and we'll have another episode tomorrow. All right, everyone, be well. And remember, the truth is not overrated, but it might not be easy to get out of your mouth because you're afraid of what others will think. Don't worry about what they'll think. Worry about doing something with your heart, with integrity. The people that are going to judge you, they're not really worth even having in your life. Have yourself a great rest of your night, everyone. Be well.